Does anybody else follow Dr. Joe on YouTube?
Sometimes
Nope. But tell me about them.
I get
She
recommendations because it's like, hey, these stretches are for knee injuries, or let's target your shoulders.
Yeah, she's I think a chiropractor, like licensed and trained. And she sounds like she reminds me of Sandy from SpongeBob a little bit. She's got very Sandy Cheeks energy. She's very matter of fact and just here's some stretches you can do at your desk to open up your hip flexors. Uh, if you have shoulder injuries, here are some stretches you can do. Also, she has a dog that shows up, which is really my main criterion for YouTube at this point.
Oh,
And I'll reiterate some maybe some self massage right here at the kind of corner of your shoulder is going to be pretty nice as well.
Just
again,
a
those
general roll. Yeah.
Yeah, those pec minors right here are again the ones that pull those shoulders down forward when you're typing or reading or even driving. So getting those out is going to be really important. I'd say that's about 70% of my work.
Molly.
Yeah, first time I went to a massage, not like a masseuse like at a spa, like a massage therapist. She told me that I have the tensest shoulders she's ever encountered. And I was like, aha, badge of honor for me.
That's one of those kind of things that at least I was taught and kind of agreed that's an inside the head kind of thought. When you tell somebody that they're tight, it doesn't really help relax them a whole lot.
Yeah, is that kind of like regaining consciousness to a paramedic going, holy crap?
Right. Yeah. I might comment like oh, I can tell I can feel some tension here, some density or stuff like that, but I try not to comment on not quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contest I didn't mean to win.
Precisely. But what's really neat is the actual relaxation of the massage is actually itself a good portion of the therapy. Because when you relax, your sympathetic nervous system calms down and every muscle in your body gets a little less tight. Not just the stuff you're working on directly. So even if you go to a massage like clinic and you have like a very specific injury, like it might be like mild discomfort, or what we call the English term is therapeutic discomfort, right? That feeling of like it's uncomfortable, it doesn't hurt, and it's uncomfortable, it's not too much, right? It's like you can still be relaxed, you're not like holding your breath or tensing up. But like beyond that, then your sympathetic nervous system kicks in as your body goes, this hurts. What do I need to do? Do I need to run? Do I need to fight? Do I need to freeze? What do I need to do? And every muscle in your body tightens up just a little bit as you go. So, yeah.
I wonder if being told like, wow, your shoulders the tightest things I've ever felt is kind of like having a doctor look at your chart and go, cool.
Yeah, right? Like, really. I think I made that mistake once, but more often people come to me and they're like, are these the tightest shoulders you've ever felt? And again, I don't want to encourage that kind of self-talk either. It's just for the same kind of reason, because then it cements in their head rather that oh yeah, I'm super tight all the time because that's not a great self-reinforcing thing. So I usually say, yeah, I can feel some tension here. Let's work on it. And I also say like people who come in are seeing me. It's a self-selecting sample, right? Like if people are coming to see me, it's because they're tight and uncomfortable or whatever. So I try to focus on like, let's get you feeling better.
I've never actually gone for a massage. I should try.
I'd recommend it. The RMTs in Canada are very highly trained and very, very good. So yeah, I'd recommend it. Has anyone else not had a professional massage?
No. That involves finding a person and talking to a stranger and getting past some weird things.
For sure.
It's cool. It feels, if you go to like a spa, it feels like joining a cult for like 3 hours. You
got the robe,
all your clothes. Yeah, like Thomas was saying, the thing to like, it feels really frou-frou as you're doing it, but the thing to relax you, where they give you like a real heavy robe and some tea, and you sit in a chair for a bit and soak your feet, like that's not, you may be like, I came in here for my neck, what's happening? But the sort of commute basically to being face down on a table in front of a stranger is very important actually, to kind of make you feel safe.
For sure. And like finding it's not quite as like emotionally fraught as like finding like a talk therapist or a psychologist, but like it requires a lot of some trust to get on the table and have somebody touch your neck. Necks are very guarded, and but if you can find some somebody, if you can make that connection with somebody, it can be really, really helpful. But it's always very interesting to me and very fun isn't the right word, but it's always very like exciting, I guess, when someone comes in and says, this is the first professional massage I've ever received. And when those same people leave feeling good, it is very rewarding. I definitely have found something that I always mispronounce this, and I'm sure Corey and or Beej will immediately correct me. I believe it's Ikigai.
I'm not familiar.
I'm not familiar.
I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's one of those things where it's like it's pronounced one of two ways, and I think I always pronounce it the wrong way.
You got all the vowels exactly the same. If there's three
Okay.
I's in it, Ikigai would be correct. Yeah.
It's the kind of thing you see on like really cheesy like Facebook posts for like motivational stuff, but like it's just really cool. Apparently, it translates to like purpose of being, and there's this really cool visualization of these 4 circles of this Venn diagram of like what you're good at, what the world needs, what you can get paid to do. And I always never remember what the 4th one is, but like where they all meet in the middle is Ikigai, and I definitely feel like I found that. So yeah,
Awesome.
I fell in the street when I was in my 20s
Mhm.
and landed very hard on my left shoulder, and I've never been able to quite shake the injury. But I ended up I didn't do anything for about 3 to 6 months, somewhere in there. And I got to a point where I actually couldn't lift. My job was like to move computers around, and I couldn't lift a computer anymore with this arm. I basically just had to leave it and then pick up the other one and just be like that, like do that, which wasn't great. And because monitors got worse, we weren't really at LCDs, and so
right.
they were just getting popular. But I finally went to my doctor, and she's like, "Why'd you wait so long?" I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "Well, here, I'll sign you a thing, and I'll send you to physio." So I go to physio once a week for 10 weeks, because that's what my insurance would cover. And they got there, like, lots of like, we're going to do this, lots of deep tissue. I'm up to my 2nd knuckle, like all those kind of things that they say. We're going to teach you how to use a foam roller. We're going to teach you how to do this and that, whatever. And then, of course, I went and bought my own foam roller. I was very good at keeping to it for a while. Then I wasn't. And so when I got onto the island, I was like, I think I need to go get reset. Like, I need to find, and I think maybe I should go find an actual physiotherapist so that they can see what has gone on and go through the whatevers. And then once they're like, okay, we've done the thing, we've reset you, then you can go see a massage therapist or go do whatever else you want to do after that. So I went in like twice. And when I went to go make my 3rd appointment, she said, nope, don't come back. I'm like, what? And she's like, don't bother. I'm like, but I want someone to work it out until it's gone. She's like, it's just better if you go work it yourself at home. There's no need to come in here and pay me. And I just felt like I was getting thrown out onto my ear.
Oh, huh.
But it was this thing of, you don't need a physiotherapist to see to this. You maybe just need a massage therapist. You maybe just need to do all the work yourself at home. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then I didn't because I'm an idiot, but yeah.
I need to book a dentist appointment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I
was-
got
I had my last cleaning in like June, and they were like 6 months coming up. When do you want to have some openings in November? And I was like, I have a thing in November. I'll look into it and get back to you.
yeah. I've done that.
Yeah, Beach. Like I maybe like that was not the greatest like quote unquote bedside manner, but I know that a lot of physio, like a lot of people go, just people think of their bodies in general like a car, like their body's a car, their brain drives around, and I know a lot of physio is like, I'm giving you the tools you have so you can go home and make sure you do it yourself. But like, yeah, that sounds like the person didn't have a very good bedside manner.
I kind of hoped I'd get a referral, like be like, you want to see a massage therapist,
Sure.
go see this person. You like do that, and she was just like, no, it's okay. You can figure it out. You sound like you already know what you're supposed to be doing, so just go do it. And I'm like, okay, but I really just felt like, I think what I need is a professional to keep me honest, like how people get personal trainers.
For sure. Yeah, shoulder injuries are rough. I could talk the whole rest of the shift about this, but so I won't. But yeah, shoulder injuries are rough. I have a lot of clients who come in with shoulder injuries, and like I have to tell them like, are you into sports? Because anyone who's followed even tangentially sports, like rotator cuff injuries are like career ending, because there's these 4 muscles in particular that form the rotator cuff, and like you can't really isolate that well. You can't just like stop using your arm, so you're just gonna keep re-injuring it. And like best case scenario, you're gonna be injured for like 8 weeks if you do everything perfect.
Oof.
And
That's a
but
long
people are
time.
just like, oh, it's starting to feel better. So I went to like lift a bike and on my bike rack in my car and it hurt it again. I'm like, yeah, like
Oh,
it's been
yeah.
3 weeks
Oh.
since your injury, man. Like maybe don't do that.
As human beings, we're really bad at that kind of thing where it's like, oh, I feel awful, so I guess I won't move. Oh, hey, no, I feel like only half awful now, so I should do all the moving.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can leave
Like-
my house and go shopping. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was like 20 or in my late teens, I wiped out on an icy parking lot.
Oof.
And every once in a while, I'll like lift a glass of water wrong, and my back will, like my spine will just springboard out of my back.
Oh.
And I think the last time it happened was because I slept on a bed that was too soft.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Bodies are really weird. That's another thing I talk with a lot of people about is sleep posture. Like people are like, oh yeah, I'm at a desk all day. My neck and shoulders really hurt.
Yeah.
But like sometimes they'll be like, oh, like I've got an ergonomic desk and I or a standing desk and I'm all everything. So I was like, well, does it hurt? Does it like get worse throughout the day, or do you wake up with it? And they're like, oh, I wake up with it. And it's like, oh, it's because you're sleeping like this.
Yeah.
Like, here's some things you can do. I give some people some like stretches and stuff. And I personally like was a stomach sleeper for a really long time. My neck started to get really bad, and I bought myself a nice, huge, big plush body pillow, just so I would like, I would kind of like it would stop me from rolling all the way onto my stomach. And that's really the only thing I use
Yeah.
it for. It's great. It just keeps you from being face first on the mattress with your neck all cracked up like that.
I have like a body not a body pillow, a pillow for my head that's like a hard foam, but it's shaped like a Space Invader. And it's
Oh,
got
sure.
this little ramp for the back of your neck. You know, it's got the little well to put the back of your head in and stuff.
Yeah.
And
You said
we
ramp
have a-
for your neck, and I was just imagining your head just like doing like half pipe tricks.
whoop, just kick flips up in my bed. Because I'm also a face sleeper in a big way. Like genetically, I come from a long line of face sleepers. And so to try to convince myself to sleep on my back so I would stop messing up my bones for 8 hours a day, we have a projector pointed at the ceiling. And so
Sure.
I'll like put on a movie and like just like, oh, it's just a completely horizontal home theater. How luxurious! And that's any solution.
Yeah. It's again, just so few people think about this kind of stuff. I tell my clients that like I feel like half my job is just get people in their bodies and just being mindful about what their bodies are doing. Because like posture is all mindfulness.
That's most of like the older people. I've been talking to my grandma about this. The older people who like they slip in their kitchen or they fall down the stairs. It's just because for a moment they weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
You know, if you can just be mindful in your movement, you can avoid a lot of unnecessary injury well into your old age.
For sure. Anyway, like I said, I could talk about this all the rest of the shift, but so I'll peace out. But yeah, thanks for talking with about me. Thank you for talking with us about me, gang.
Thank you for sharing
really
your,
passionate about
your
it.
know-how.
We're gonna do more
Thanks.
stretching tomorrow.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And in fact, you know what? 3 a.m. stretching sounds like a great idea. So let's try to.
My watch bugs
Yeah.
me to stretch every hour or so.
Love it.
So if I catch one, yeah.
All right. I'll duck back into my hole.
I realize my watch has given up on doing that because
Oh.
it thinks it's bedtime.
Oh yeah, no, it would.
Yeah,
Mine
actually.
does that thing where it's like, oh, you haven't stood up, you should stand up, and I'm always like, yeah, okay, in a minute, and then I don't.
Oh,
I
I'm always
ignore- I
like,
ignore it very
sure, in
easily.
a minute, and then I start doing this with it for a while I'm like sitting and watching TV. I'm like, if I just do this for about a minute, there we go. Okay, great, thanks. It's like it just wants the motion, right? So I'll just give it the motion.
Yeah. We're the Hey You Pikachu generation where you can just take it off your belt and just shake it.
Well, like Graham told a really great story about how he was like sitting at his desk working on something, and he lifted like
A
a
Danish.
paste, Danish, to his mouth, and his Apple Watch went off with like, "Oh, you've hit your physical activity goal for the day."
You met your move goal for the day. You burned 300 or 500 calories, and he was like,
I've earned this.
I really enjoy that story because he was just like, "Oh, sweet."